Hari Jayo Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Girivaradhari Jayo Yashodhanandana Jayo Brajajanaranjana Jayo Brajajanaranjana Jayo Yashodhanandana Jayo Brajajanaranjana Jayo Brajajanaranjana Jayo Jayo Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jayo Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Vanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Shri Gaura Nitai Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo We keep this one now. Text 14, isn't it? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we'll be reading from 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 3, entitled Rishabhadeva's Appearance, text 14. You confirm it's 14? Yeah? Please repeat after me. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Tagore Premanande. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yes. Kova iha te aparajitaham aparajitayam mayayam anavasita padavyam anavritamatihi Vishaya Visham Rayam Anavritam Prakritihi Anupasitam Mahancharanaham. So this verse is in prose, Gadya, not in poetry, Padya, so I will read without meter. Kova ihate parajito parajitaya Mayayan vasita padavyanavrita matir Vishaya Visha Rayanavrita Prakritir Anupasita Mahacharanaham. So, someone would like to read?
Kovahate parajito parajitaya Mayayana vasita padavyanavrita matir Vishaya Visha Rayanavrita Prakritir Anupasita Mahacharanaham.
Prabhu, you will read or no? Yamuna?
Vishaya Visha Rayanavita Prakriti Anupashita Mahacharanaham.
Thank you. If sometimes it's difficult to read, then you cut the words. That's the first step. It's called Padacheda, to divide the words. For example, if you have Maya Anavasita, so you check in the synonyms, it's Mayaya, it's easier to say, and then Anavasita. Together, Maya Anavasita. If you remember, when I was last time here, then we spoke about how usually lectures are given. The first part is Padacheda and Padartokti. Then you divide the words and then the meaning of the words. But to read properly, then you divide the words. It's easier to to see how they are connected. Otherwise, all these long sentences. And if you just look in Devanagari, it's even longer. Whoever has, it's even longer because the conjuncts over there, it's like 4 or 5 words in one together. So it's very difficult then to read. Yes, so Padartokti, the meaning, synonyms. Kova, who is that person? Iha, within this material world. Te of your lordship, aparajitaham, not conquered, aparajitayam, by the unconquerable, mayaya, illusory energy, anavasita padavyam, whose path cannot be ascertained, anavritam matihim, whose intelligence is not bewildered, vishaya visha, of material enjoyment, which is like poison, rayam, by the course, anavritam, not covered, prakritihi, whose nature, anupasitam, without worshipping, mahat charanaham, the lotus feet of great devotees. Translation and purport of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Dear Lord, unless one worships the lotus feet of great devotees, one will be conquered by the illusory energy and his intelligence will be bewildered. Indeed, who has not been carried away by the waves of material enjoyment, which are like poison? Your illusory energy is unconquerable. No one can see the path of this material energy or tell how it is working. Purport. Maharaj Nabi was inclined to performing great sacrifices for begetting a son. The son might be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but such a material desire, be it great or insignificant, is brought about by the influence of Maya. A devotee does not at all desire anything for sense gratification. Devotion is therefore explained as the void of material desires, anya bilashita shunya. Everyone is subjected to the influence of Maya and entangled in all kinds of material desire. And Maharaj Nabi was no exception. Freedom from Maya's influence is possible when one engages in the service of the great devotees, Mahat Charana Seva. Without worshipping the lotus feet of a great devotee, one cannot be freed from Maya's influence. Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Payeche Keba, who has been freed from Maya's clutches without serving the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. Maya is aparajita, and her influence is also aparajita, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. Only a devotee can surpass Maya's great influence. It was no fault on Maharaj Nabi's part that he wanted a son. He wanted a son like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the best of all sons. By the association of the Lord's devotee, one no longer desires material opulence. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 22:54. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koya, Lava Matra, Sadhu Sange, Sarva Siddhi Hoya. And Madhya 22:51. Mahat Kripa Bina Kone, Korma Bhakti Noya, Krishna Bhakti Dure Rohu, Shamshara Nohe Koya. If one is serious about escaping Maya's influence and returning home back to Godhead, one must associate with a sadhu devotee. That is the verdict of all scriptures. By the slight association of a devotee, one can be freed from the clutches of Maya. Without the mercy of the pure devotee, one cannot get freedom by any means. Certainly, a pure devotee's association is necessary in order to obtain the loving service of the Lord. One cannot be freed from Maya's clutches without sadhusanga, the benediction of a great devotee. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.32, Prahlad Maharaj says, Naishammati stavad urukramanugrahim sprishat anarthapagamo yad artaha mahiyasam padarajo bhishekam nishkinchananam navrinitayavat. One cannot become the Lord's pure devotee without taking the dust of a great devotee on his head. Padarajo bhishekam. A pure devotee is nishkinchana. He has no material desire to enjoy the material world. One has to take shelter of such a pure devotee in order to attain his qualities. The pure devotee is always free from the clutches of Maya and her influence. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Rupa Shiyuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakavitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Arada Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Aradhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ananta Koti Vaishnavebhyo Ki Jai. So, Lord Chaitanya used to discuss and relish Srimad Bhagavatam in association of devotees. He personally said, Nija Bhakta Sange Krishna Katha Range. In the association Sangha, we are trying to relish the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is directly explained about what is that Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavata Rambe, Bhagavata Mangala Charane. In the auspicious invocation, it is said, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That we are offering our humble obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, he appeared as the son of Vasudev in Mathura. So the whole Srimad Bhagavatam obviously is the appearance of the Lord. And in the same way, obviously, this chapter speaks about the appearance of Lord Rishabhadev. And in the beginning of the text, first 3 verses are speaking how he appeared from the sacrifice of King Nabi, and then text later from the text 4 to 16, I believe, they speak about the prayers to Supreme Lord. So when usually Lord appears, then they offer the prayers to Lord, stavas. There is stutis and there are stavas. When we recite the prayers of others, they are called stutis. And Bhagavatam is full of different stutis. What is called in Vedas, suktas, in Bhagavatam is called stuti. Ukta means to say the sayings, and su means very good sayings about Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva. We have Vishnu Sukta, we have Rudra Sukta, etc. in Vedas. But Srimad Bhagavatam especially gives the stutis about the Lord and His devotees. And we see how even the great demigods like Lord Shiva is offering prayers to Lord Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also Srimad Bhagavatam concluding that Lord Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan. Krishna's too Swayam Bhagavan. So the whole Srimad Bhagavatam then is about Krishna and association of devotees with Krishna. And we see how in this canto how the great dynasty of kings, they associated with the Lord Himself, and how they desire to have son. Nonetheless than Lord Himself. So as the Vamshanucharita, the genealogy goes, the Maharaj Priyavrata had a son who was Maharaj Agnidra, and we were reading about his association with Purvachiti, and how from them came, as far as I remember, 9 children, and one of them was King Nabi. So King Nabi was a very pious person, and he was doing a lot of austerities to purify himself so he can get a pure son, and the purest son is the Supreme Lord Himself. So in this case then Maharaj Rishabhadev appeared, and when he appeared, then these prayers have been offered. And we see how these prayers, or prarthanas, sometimes also called vandanas, they come from the level of self-realization and self-satisfaction, because these sages, they are fully satisfied and they don't ask for anything else. Because only the person who is under the influence of Maya, he will ask for different kinds of things. He will not ask for the service. But the person who is under the influence of Maya, he is asking for so many material things: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But Srimad Bhagavatam is condemning such kaitava dharma, or how we translate the false or cheating religion, which is not actually the real nature of the living being. Jaiva Dharma or Bhagavad Dharma. Real Bhagavad Dharma is to offer service to the Lord. And the person who is the recipient of the benediction of the Lord, from his prayers, the patra, he must be self-satisfied. Otherwise he will always be asking for different kinds of things in life, and he will never achieve the real relationship with the Lord. So therefore in this verse especially, we read how even the desire to have a son, the Lord as a son, can be by the influence of Maya, interestingly. Srila Prabhupada says, because if the Lord is Vasudeva, all-pervading, how he can be your son? So there is probably some context of illusion there, and here the illusion is or Maya is called Aparajitaha. Accidentally, my name is also Ajita, Ajitananda, and Ajita means unconquerable. So the Supreme Lord is unconquerable, and in my name Ananda means the one who finds the pleasure in unconquerable. So how we can conquer the Lord? How we can find the pleasure in unconquerable? Because we cannot conquer Him in any way except by devotion. So we find the pleasure in that. We find the pleasure in trying to conquer the Lord with devotion. And Krishna is attracted only by devotion. He wants to be conquered by devotion. He is Sri Krishna Akarshini. He is attracted, Akarshati, by devotion, by pure devotion, finally. One of the characteristics of Prema Bhakti is that Krishna is attracted by such devotion. So, whatever we offer in slight pure love, Krishna will definitely accept that. Because although we may not be on level of Prema Bhakti, but finally in Tattva there is only Prema Bhakti. There is no other Bhakti than that. That is because Bhakti is always pure. And rest of Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, is just practicing Prema Bhakti, nothing else. But we don't understand that because we are not on that level. And but it's important to know that we are trying to practice Prema Bhakti. No matter how much that is distant from us, but that is the goal. And from Shraddha to Prema, it's actually just how to achieve Prema, no? Even the Shraddha is the first step of Prema. It's nothing else. And Shraddha we tend to translate simply as a faith. But sometimes Srila Prabhupada says it's inclination or tendency. Which kind of tendency? It's tendency towards bhakti. It's from the bhakti unmukhi sukriti, the pious devotional activities in past lives, we come to Shraddha in this life. And then this Shraddha is inclination towards bhakti. And this bhakti is nothing else but maturing in prema. So finally Krishna is accepted by pure devotional service, pure loving devotional service. And Srila Prabhupada says here that what is that devotion? Devotion is therefore explained as devoid of material desires, anya bilashita shunya. And because we may have tendency to desire this or that, even is said here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Son, it can be material desire because you want to enjoy the Lord. You want to be proud, maybe. Look, my son is Swayam Bhagavan himself. So it can have this material influence. And so we can't conquer the Lord or even material energy with material desires. It said, Maya navasita padhaya navrita matir. Mati is the intelligence or opinion that we can overcome the Maya by our own efforts. But Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Maya cannot be overcome by any means except by sadhusanga. And that's the essence of the whole purport, Upadesha Sara, the instruction. If you want to overcome Maya, then definitely you have to associate with devotees. Even if you want to directly please the Lord, it will not be possible. You will finally need to associate with devotees of the Lord who are under the Swarup Shakti, and then you will get the proximity to the Lord. But we as Tatastha Shakti, if you go directly to the Lord, it's impossible. So you always must approach the Lord through Swarup Shakti, and Swarup Shakti are devotees, finally greatest devotees, Srimati Radharani. So whoever is the follower of her, he is a devotee. So even in the verse, he said that we have to worship the Lord, the lotus feet of great devotees. Anupasita Mahacharanaha. Upasita means upasana, to worship. Mahacharana, the feet of great personalities, Mahat. And then Srila Prabhupada explains this in purport, quoting the Narottam Das Thakur, Chodya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keba. Who has been freed from Maya's clutches without serving the lotus feet of a Vaishnava? These quotes of Kavis, Gaudiya Vaishnava Kavis, are very important in purports and in our life. We sing the songs of Kavis daily, but in purports they show how perfected practitioners, Siddha Bhaktas, are experiencing this. Because we read the purports and we get instructions and we get so much knowledge, but then you read Kavya and then you see how someone achieved perfection in that. And so the quotation of such kavis is very important, because it shows us that it's possible to achieve such a stage of bhakti, and it's showing their understanding, and it's showing also the feeling of great Vaishnavas. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur is by a question concluding who has overcome the influence of Maya without serving the lotus feet of a Vaishnava. So the importance of association of sadhu sangha is explained. It's written sadhu sangha, sarva shastra koya, lava matra sadhu sanghe, sarva siddhi hoya. Who is a sadhu, and what is the importance of sadhu sangha? Before I try to go in explaining this, there is one wonderful explanation of sadhu, guru and shastra in Baldevidya Bhushana's Prameya Ratnavali, and how to be balanced in our approach to sadhus. Because if we see the ISKCON from the conception, recently there was a celebration of Srila Prabhupada coming to West, no? But if you see the ISKCON from the conception, there was a lot of emphasis on sadhu sangha, and which has to be balanced actually with guru and shastra. Interestingly, after 50 years of ISKCON, we don't have clear curriculum, the educational plan and program for, let's say, university scale of our tradition. So in Prameya Ratnavali, Baladevidya Bhushana says that all three must be worshipped: sadhu, guru and shastra. Otherwise you definitely do aparada. So if we don't, of course we read shastras and we worship gurus, no, we do daily guru puja, but there must be proper balance of these three. Because if you worship only sadhus, you will do shastra ninda, you will offend the scripture, and you will do guru ninda, the third and fourth offense to holy name. If you worship only shastra, you will stop associating with sadhus and guru, you will become jnani, and you will offend sadhu and guru, the first and third offense. You cannot progress in chanting the holy name. And if you just worship sadhus, you will become karma yogi, because you will imitate, oh, he's such a good person, he's doing great deeds. And he on prema bhakti, or any high level of bhakti, he sees how ordinary simple act of giving a chadar to someone can be act of bhakti. Even to person outside. If Uttama Bhakta does that, he does that as act of prema. So that is always controversy. How can charitable act be the act of bhakti? But in the eyes of great personality, he sees there is only a jiva, a devotee of Krishna, and Krishna. That's reality. So he helps a devotee. He doesn't help his body. He sees that jiva needs to have the opportunity to serve Krishna. Anyway, so if we just worship sadhus, we will become karma yogis. If we worship just shastra, we will become jnana yogi. And if we worship a guru, we become a yogi, a dhyani. Because guru has influence and the power. So we start to think, oh, if my guru is so great that I don't even need to study the shastras, I don't need to, follow sadhus. It's just guru will give me a one that's called Shaktipat. He will touch me, and that's all. And it happens actually, devotees sometimes very sentimentally think that just by being in proximity with Guru, everything else will be revealed. And Guru has a power to reveal, but Guru reveals the things from Shastra, so we can't disbalance things. So all three must be worshipped, Sadhu, Guru and Shastra, otherwise you'll become Jnani, Karmi or Yogi. So the proper path is then to hear the Shastra from a Guru in association of devotees. And we hear that many times in purports of Srila Prabhupada, to hear the scriptures and associate properly with Vaishnavas. So here is giving the emphasis on Sadhu Sangha, because in Sadhu Sangha we will see the real path. With the verse and the purport, it's explained how no one can actually understand the path of this material energy and how she works. There is that famous story of Narad Muni, who was self-realized, but he still wanted to know how Maya is working. And then as far I didn't hear this story or recollect it for a very long time, but I'll try to recall, otherwise you correct me. He said that he was with the Lord, and then he said how your material energy is working. And then the Lord said, okay, I will explain it. Just go and bring me a pot or a bucket or water from the river. When he went to the river, then he met a lady over there, and I don't know, I don't remember honestly. Did they married? They married, no? So they married, but finally she was drowning in a river, and then he was trying to help her, and he also was drowning. Is it like that? Suddenly he was, yes, with Krishna, and then he realized how he's covered by Maya, or how he was drowning in Maya. But I can't explain, because otherwise she's not illusion. If you can explain, then where is the illusion? No? And she has so many tricks. One of the greatest tricks is that we think she doesn't exist. None of the people outside think, oh, this is illusion. Maybe some philosophical person considers this, but no one thinks of illusion exists. But later, if you try to go on the path of spiritual life, Delusion is to think that she exists. It's interesting, no? Because if everything is connected with Krishna, where is Maya? But you still think, no, this world outside is Maya. Isn't it? That's also Maya. For devotee, that is Maya. In beginning, in Kanishthadikari, he can connect only things in temple with bhakti. Outside of the temple, he can't connect. But as we progress to Madhyamadikari level, we will see that everything is connected with Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada was in Hawaii, and then devotees complained, like, Srila Prabhupada in Hawaii, everything is Maya. So Srila Prabhupada said, where is Maya? These palms are hairs on the body of Krishna. The ocean is the navel of Krishna. So where is Maya? So if you see in the context of Brahman, Virat Purusha, then where is Maya? So Maya has tricks like that, and sometimes it looks that she doesn't exist, sometimes it looks she exists, so what we can say? And we see how Yoga Maya is even more difficult to understand, that the devotees, they think that Krishna is their son. In Tattva, it's not possible, no? Because Krishna is without origin, Aja. Shishi Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Shishi Gornitai ki jai. But in Rasa, they see the connection with Krishna in simple, family ways, and they think, oh, Krishna is my son, Krishna is my brother, Krishna is my friend, and so and so. So who can understand Yoga Maya? We can just surrender ourselves to Yoga Maya. No? And how we associate with Yoga Maya? By association with devotees. It's said here that even Lava Matra, the smallest time unit, can bring all kinds of perfections. Sarva Siddhi, Sadhu Sange, Sarva Siddhi Hoya. Because if we see such a sadhu, then the karma will stop. Desire to get karma will stop. That is how influence of sadhu is. Because all of us, let's say karmis in this world, whoever wants to enjoy fruitive activities, is not acting as per Shastras. And Shastra brings Gyan. And so if you don't act as per Gyan, you will create karma. And when you see sadhu, you will see how someone is free from karma. Someone is not acting in a conditioned way. Karma means to act in conditioned way. I do a karma and I get karma pala. I get the result of karma. And I want to enjoy that result. And for that reason I need to wait, because the time is bringing results postponingly, and then I may have to take new birth to get the results of my karma. But the sadhu who is acting in knowledge, in jnana, knowledge here means with bhakti, relationship with Krishna, sambandha jnana, then you see how he is free. And I remember when I met devotees first time, very vividly, my Vartma Pradarsha Guru, he has so much of unconditional love, for everyone. And I saw how he's serving and loving everyone, and how everyone likes to be in his association. He was the most respected, but he served prasadam, he, put mat for everyone. Simple acts of sadhu. I thought, wow, I've never seen things like that. And of course there is mystical aspect behind, devotees' behavior, which we may not perceive anymore as a kind of strange or unnormal, because we are in constantly association of devotees. But people outside, they see these things. And so such a moment, creates desire, I want to be like that, I want to become devotee. So it's Sarva Siddhi Hoyan. So then we are on the path of devotional service, and then in the future we may achieve Prema Bhakti by the grace of great devotees. So who is then sadhu? the sadhu needs to have some qualities, and one of the qualities is said over here is nishkinchana. He has no material desire to enjoy the material world. Nishkinchana. We read in Chaitanya Charitamrita 26 qualities of a Vaishnava Lakshana, and one of them is Nishkinchana. So another one would be a kavi. Devotee is a poet because he is have the great intelligence, pratibha. He can see things in the world in a statical, poetical way. He sees not only reality, not only with intelligence, but also with mind. How Krishna is beautifully creating, crafting the phenomenal world. So, in seeing that, he tries to explain that he's a great kavi. So there are other qualities of Krishna. Which would be the qualities of, or not of Krishna, of Vaishnavas? Someone remembers? Pridelessness. You remember how we called that? Pridelessness was, I used to know all of them, but forgetting. One of them is he conquered all bad qualities. Vijita, Sadguna. And then, you see, when we are tired, we don't remember. Someone else remembers the qualities of Vaishnava? Of course, there must be humble, honest, and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think one is Karunya. Yeah, Daksha, right. I used to know all Sanskrit terms, but I don't know, so I'm probably tired, so. Does not? Right. Again? I can't hear the Sanskrit. Satyam? What? Oh, no, not that one. That's, yeah. Anyway, the devotee must have, all these qualities, and these qualities are divided into Swarup Lakshana and the Tatastha Lakshana. The personal characteristic, Swarup Lakshana, and Tatastha Lakshana, marginal characteristic. Every person can have all these marginal characteristics, 25 of them, and still not be a great sadhu if he is not Sri Krishna Eka Sharana. If one is surrendered only to Krishna. Because if one is not surrendered to Krishna, he is not acting on spiritual platform, and all these qualities are just borrowed from material energy. Just like, for example, being a, let's say, kavi, and then you can't remember poetry, no? So what kind of kavi you are? It's not yours. When you get old, you lose the youth, strength, memory, wisdom, intelligence. So it's not yours. But we see that devotees, despite the old age, they sometimes, they can remember, very vividly, things about Krishna. So that's revival of his spiritual energy. Obvious, no? He overcome material influence, literally. Because if he didn't, then how he could have such a quality? No, sometime in old age he can do a lot of tapasya. How is possible if his strength have left him? So Sri Krishna Eka Sharana is therefore the key of a sadhu. If someone has that personal quality of being surrendered to Krishna, and from that he will not have material desires, he will overcome Maya, whose path no one can know, as said here, he will achieve the personal quality of being devotee of Krishna. So that is the greatest lakshana which we need to see in devotee. And sometimes we have very idealistic expectation from devotees. Oh, he's not humble, he's not learned, he's proud. And all that is actually fine in our level. Because we need to see if he is Krishna Eka Sharana, if he wants to continue the service despite all this, you have to see that. Otherwise you will always look for bad qualities in someone. So we see as a primary, he's devotee of Krishna. We try to associate with him in that context and help him to improve that. And rest, it's secondary actually. We should not see that as a primary. For example, Bhima, he was proud. He was proud as a person. You can see in Bhagavatam or Mahabharata. He would, he would think that he's great, that he can do things, and as a kshatriya, I will do things. So then where is that humility, no? And Madhurya Kadamini explains, someone can be proud and still be devotee, because he is surrendered to Krishna. So the bhakti doesn't depend on material qualities, but bhakti develops good spiritual qualities. And many other examples like that, no? That someone doesn't have good qualities, but being great devotee. Like for example, Bhagavatam is full of demons who are great devotees. So then the demon doesn't have good qualities in a sense that he wants to enjoy, he wants to, be recognized, and all these things. The qualities are demoniac. But we need to see Krishna Eka Sharana and worship devotee in that context. In that way, we will always nourish our bhakti, will not be prone to Vaishnava parad, and we will be able to relate nicely with Vaishnavas. It's such I would say, a crucial point in Vaishnava association, that we see that he's trying to please Krishna from his level, and adore Vaishnavas in that way. So with this I would finish and maybe ask if there is any question, comment. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, maybe you could elaborate a little more on this, because you mentioned there is a level of Nishta, there is a description that how to measure Nishta. There is also
Yes, yes.
Sometimes we see a person, maybe he looks very nice, very kind, but then he falls down, it's still weakness. Some other person might be a little rough or a little bit rough.
Right.
But actually very fixed. And when you look at Nishta, actually this is more important, so it's
Right.
But still, maybe I don't know, maybe it's a sentimental understanding, but sometimes you feel a spiritual advanced person will naturally also have all these qualities.
Right. It's not excuse, yeah.
So can you say that a really advanced will have those?
But I'm sure that Bhima was in Prema Bhakti, in Sakya Rasa, no? So it's interesting, no, what you're saying. Before I try to explain, at least I do some scholarly work, and just 2 days back on Oxford, I found that Madhurya Kadambini is originally Shaiva Shastra, used by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to explain Bhakti. And our acharyas, they use that regularly. For example, the lakshanas on the hands and feet of Krishna, for example, in Rupa Chintamani of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it's from Samudrika Shastra. So they use things like that. They don't just say, oh, I am self-realized, I have seen Krishna, now I will tell you. No, they have seen Krishna, but they still use Shastra to explain, to authorize their descriptions. Or Rupa Goswami using Natya Shastra. Anyway, is Shaiva. So, as you say over there, that one is the focus on devotional aspect and one is the quality aspect. I think it's important over there that it's said that to achieve Nishta, someone can first become steady in his body, mind and words, in one of them. And what means Nishta? Using them only, exclusively for service to Krishna, either body, mind or words. For some people it's easier mind, for some people it's easier words, for some people it's easier body, because of their natural tendencies. So we should encourage devotees in that. And then, but it's said that then the person has to engage other aspects in life to become fully Nishta, because Nishta cannot be, I'm just, with my body behaving nicely, but speaking roughly, in a sense. Roughly means not in Krishna consciousness. So then, aspect of our consciousness is not devotional. So then, how it can be Nishta? So that's a good method to conquer our own self. Means Atma as a body, Atma as a mind. So in that way we need to progress, and I think the focus must be on devotional, not just trying to develop the qualities, but be without desire to enjoy those good qualities. Because if you try to enjoy those good qualities, then naturally that will be fall down. I am enjoying it's called Bhakti Tarangini, or whatsoever is that quality of the Tarangarangini, enjoying the secondary benefits of Bhakti. Then you still can't come to the level of Nishta. Because Bhakti brings good qualities. Now I have good qualities, so now people want to associate with me. Finally. I'm kind to everyone, I'm sadhu, I'm attractive. So if you want to enjoy that, you can't come to the level of Nishta in Shuddha Bhakti, definitely. It will be Karma Mishra Bhakti. So then we need to avoid that. And Prabhu, you said about someone having good qualities but not being on the spiritual platform, and then falling down. And someone having good qualities but being devotee but not having good qualities. Actually, the acharyas are saying the second position is better. Someone can, let's say, smoke, and he wants to leave that, and he prays for years and can't leave, because the impression is so strong that he can't leave that. And you have, let's say, a temple president, 20 years of perfect sadhana, and he leaves because he didn't perform bhakti properly. The other day I found one verse in Madhya Lila, 20th chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, is saying that only absorption in pure bhakti, Shuddha bhakti, can bring prema. And that's actually the key of our spiritual life. That abhideya, that process, absorption in pure bhakti, can reveal prema. So what that means for sadhaka of 20 years, temple president who left, finally he left, was the reason because he was not doing sadhana really. Because what we are trying to do, we are trying to emulate or even to imitate prema bhakti. And if there was no sadhu who explains us that, then our educational process is not unfolding properly. We are good in austerity, but that's yoga. There can be sadhana, but we are practicing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Basically, we are practicing bhakti through rules and regulations, and then through spontaneity. So if you don't do that, then bhakti will not evoke. And through that sadhana, you can develop nice qualities. But there is no essence in that. However, we can't say that we don't need rules and regulations. That's also niyamagraha. That's also a part of sahajya, that only bhakti is important. And what is bhakti? Bhakti is emotion. Bhakti is not emotion. Bhakti is having icha, jnana and kriya shakti. It has thinking, willing, knowing, thinking, feeling and willing capacity. So you need to desire, you need to know, and you need to do it. It's not just a feeling. Icha is a feeling. Desiring, feeling, then jnana is knowing, and then kriya is willing to do. So we need to have all this in our practice, then bhakti will reveal itself. So someone who is practicing bhakti, he definitely needs to try to please Krishna, and that is the key of everything. And in that, he will naturally develop good qualities. And we can't say that, no, I don't need the austerity, I don't need tapasya, I don't need to give charity. No, we need all this, but we need to know what is the essence. And those who are very good in secondary things like tapasya or sacrifice, they also need to know what is the primary. So I think that is the path of balanced path for everyone. And Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu touches this to some degree. And Niyamagraha then definitely explains this point. Yes, Prabhu.
I'm very grateful to the class because it clarified many things in a systematic way. But from the other side, I noticed that you consciously making effort to pronounce Sanskrit and Bengali properly. In massive, in the mass of devotees in ISKCON, it is rare. But we are saying that we are following some culture, that we are Gaudias, and then that we are using, we are approaching Shastra, which includes the Sanskrit also. How, in your opinion, how important is to use the authentic languages in both cases, in Bengali as a Gaudiya tradition and then Sanskrit? Because in my humble observation, we are distorting the language, which is not very common.
Thank you for this observation. I think it is important, at least for one essential part of our society, to know this. And it should be appreciated and should be respected if someone is doing these things, if someone is at least giving efforts to do proper pronunciation. Honestly, I personally don't expect that everyone will be able to do that, because these two languages, especially Sanskrit, is not easy to comprehend grammatically. But at least in pronunciation we should do that. And Prabhupada left us Sanskrit, he left us Bengali, and although Srila Prabhupada used to many times pronounce Sanskrit in vernacular Bengali, like instead of Kshatriya, sometimes he would say Katriya, which is common for Bengal people. He requested us to do Sanskrit. Otherwise, if he didn't want that, he wouldn't keep Devanagari and transliteration in Roman letter. Why he would leave that? There would be no need for that. But he wanted us to do that, and it's if we just read word by word with interest to understand, it will give us so much of meaning, and with easement we will be able to comprehend what is the verse about. For scholars it's must, because for scholars you can't depend on translation. Just a few days back I was in Oxford and I spoke with the manager of Oxford Center for Hindu Studies, Shonaka Rishi Prabhu, and for my research work over there he asked me, can you read Sanskrit and Bengali? So it's very important, obviously, for the circle of people who are dealing with original text. And we need to also question ourselves. We can't keep ISKCON very dogmatic, in a sense that you can't question things. I'm not saying challenging, but you can't keep things in a sense, I got the translation and now I can just fully depend on that. And what means dogmatic? Oh, Srila Prabhupada said like this, must be like that. This will kill the intelligence. Srila Prabhupada gave you a path to have Sanskrit, to have purport, to have translation and purport. So that's the path. We have the whole path. So we need to think, oh, why Srila Prabhupada translated like that? Otherwise, our own intelligence is dying, and we will create different kinds of dogmas and belief systems. But this is knowledge-based system. So if it's knowledge-based system, we need to know what was the origin of this knowledge, and why this Bhagavatam? What is this version of Bhagavatam? For example, Madhva tradition doesn't use this version of Bhagavatam. So why we use this version of Bhagavatam? From where Srila Prabhupada took this text? From which manuscript? Is this really from Vyasadeva? So if you don't ask yourself these questions, then you can be blind follower, but not good student, disciple. And this was no desire of Srila Prabhupada. So in order to understand the text is very important, and also to represent the tradition is very important. Otherwise, the scholars, they see how we read these things, and then they see we're not very serious, and they no matter what you say, you explain in so many wonderful ways, they will think that you're not authentic. So our devotional and academic understanding must be authentic. It means must be integrated, and then we can represent the tradition. Otherwise, we can misrepresent tradition. Yes, bro.
In my humble opinion,
yes, bro.
We are aware about the existence of the many schools of translation, many schools of bhakti, and many schools of Hinduism, for that matter. And then we have to be aware that we are followers of very particular school,
yes, yes,
which is giving consciously directing us bhakti in a very certain way. But if we have courage and time to do the effort, the capacity of studying and being aware about different schools, not giving ourselves to that schools, because we have already made this decision to follow this. Then I think, as we said, it will be more scientific and more respectful from the learned who are studying the science of Sanskrit, who are knowing many dozens of versions of translation of the certain verses or words in Sanskrit, and then they will be knowing that we are representing a certain school.
Yes, yes.
Which is extremely important. Like we can give in love, we can give heart to only one person, not to many. We appreciate the beauty of different representatives of human race and we will be aware about existence of different types of translations of bhakti, but we consciously make effort to go deeper and deeper in our school and present it with honor and knowledge, including the pronunciation and the culture.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhu, for that. I encourage you to always encourage other devotees to do these things. And these things are addressed even by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the manuscript of Lalita Madhava and Vidagdha Madhava, the highest text of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, written by Rupa Goswami, he said, Madhura Prasana Alankara. That without these alankaras, embellishments, ornaments, in Sanskrit, we cannot understand Rasa Tattva, either to preach, prachar. So it's important to understand the specifics of our tradition and what kind of Sanskrit is that. It's very ornamented Sanskrit, because this description of Lila are very nicely in a detail described through this kind of Sanskrit. And the vritti, or the style, is full of beautified details about Krishna's pastime. You know, about how flute looks, how many holes the flute has, and how Krishna wears the peacock, and what is the emotions between the Radha feeling. Yes, yes.
The colors of loving feelings.
Right. So the Sanskrit paints for us the picture of bhakti in spiritual world. So to that degree, it's very important. And as someone is progressing in Madhyama level, then he will see, oh wow, this is so important.
Sometimes there is a prakrit used also, very simplified version. I cannot comment on this, but it's a bit surprised that sometimes, but as we know, like our Acharya praised Narottam Das for his poetry, which is in plain Bengali, gives us the level of the highest Shastra revelations.
Right. I think that he gave same like Bhaktivinoda Thakur in simple Bengali, so that the larger audience can comprehend the meaning. Thank you, Prabhu, for bringing that. Thank you. We'll speak further. So we definitely finish now. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Thank you so much. It's just that
Consonant.
Yeah, then you double it. Nitto. Nitto. Like this.
Different. Sounds like Z. And J.
Yes,
There is difference.
yeah.
But this is too silent. But this, some things like basic combination of with this like
Yes,
like this, yes. I don't know. But if they start to do it, it will be causing some revolution in this kind of thing, right? Because it will sound completely different.
I think you should start small school. No, in a sense to teach them the what they do.
I'm just trying to know. And not to worry that nobody will be there. Serious stuff. But I see it's really very advanced realization of the original culture.
Yes, definitely.
When I heard it,
I'm trying.
I found somebody who
Yes, I'm working on that also to have what is
wonderful.
prepare some material.
What is your original?
Croatian.
Also Slavic. You want to
Yes. It's not just I'm already for a couple of months trying to launch on it. So, and now it seems something will happen. So let's see. Then we'll call Shiva Dashan. Just trying to do series. Yes, just 2 days back I was in Oxford and I went there as a proposal for PhD and then Shamanta Shikara told me that there was this other Russian scholar who found the text, same text, which is offered to Shiva as a laboratory robot, right? So, but that is common, is plagiarism. It's normal in philosophy. Sharing, yeah, in the sense that the kind of methodology can be easily applied to Krishna Bhakti. And Shiva is not absolutely distinct from Krishna. Sorry? Yeah, definitely. Yes. You see,
some short second because може би малко се презира, защото ще ваше да
I can understand.
Да. Кой се правда и Dakle, ti voliš i ja volim.
Gdje ste naučili?
Ja živio neki 18 godina u Crnoj.
A u Crnoj Gori? Aha.
Moram da naučim se
Jako sličan jesam sa Rusom, tako da
Hopmanikar ma mnogo različnih. Apsolutno da zvuči malo slično, ali smisla drugačiji.
Da ruca se.
Da, ruca se so before. They are coming from the stars of Slavic.
Yes. And from Sanskrit family, we have thousands of words.
Yes.
I made a list.
I can share. I'd like to see that.
That's wonderful. They inspired a lot of Slavic to learn Sanskrit.
You already know thousands
Yes,
of words.
yes, yes. And you,
Surprised how you use them.
yes,
In the modern way.
yes.
Modern way. Thank you very much. I have to do something.
Yeah.
Then you stay here?
Tomorrow probably I will.
Okay. Before that I'll take you guys.
Yes, we'll stay in touch.
Right?
Yes, what is your
Well, this lecture, after that, for example, you mentioned Mudita and Shaya. Also, I wonder if any other books that from our tradition has the same concept.
I remember I said how acharyas are using Shastra to explain Krishna. Like Samudrika Shastra means palmistry. Palmistry like science, yes. On Krishna's palm and feet from Samudrika Shastra.
And that is a reason
Samudrika it's
part of the whole.
it's part of we have 14 books of Vedic knowledge. Yeah, the main structure of Vedic knowledge, and one of them is Jyotisha. And in Jyotisha, along with Jataka, like reading charts, you have also Samudrika Shastra. And he uses that to explain Krishna. And then, for example, Rupa Goswami, this Bhava and Rasa what we use, that's Natya Shastra. And Vishnu doesn't have to Bhava. Some other things as well.
So, anyway, how to elaborate on this and
I'll keep my WhatsApp number and then I'll pass. Yes. All that will be much more, you will be surprised. I was working 10 years on this thing. You will enjoy that. That's my seva. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.